Applebee's 2 for $20. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Life is for living. And at First International Bank and Trust, we're all about living, helping your dreams come true. Because we're not just in the banking business. We're in the first home business, the community sponsorship business, the how do I make this happen business, making your banking life easy so you can focus on what matters most. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
A family farm is, well, different. The cab of a tractor is the CEO's office. Board meetings are held on the bed of Grandpa's pickup. And a conference call is a holler across the yard to hurry your chores, kids, there's homework to be done. A family farm is about family pride as much as profit. Farmers Union Insurance believes this way of life is worth protecting. Because this isn't just where we work, it's also our family's home. Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
Coming to you live once again from the Bonfire Studios North. It's another episode of Toros All Access. I'm your host, Peter Theodos. Joining me to my left, as always, Mr. Ken Oda. Ken, how you doing?
Good. It was a fun week.
It was a fun week, you know. Fun week in the office so far.
Long bus ride, but a fun week.
I didn't have to do that, so I didn't have that pleasure of getting back at 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. I got to sleep in my own bed. But regardless, Toros come away with a split in their first trip to Mason City, Iowa. And for the most part, a lot of good stuff happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really... The players will have a better answer than I would, but I think it was one bad minute.
Yeah.
2 goals, 37 seconds apart on Friday night, and you lose that game by 1. So one bad lapse of a minute or so in that game, and that's the difference, right? So overall, I think he only ended up taking 2 points out of 4 games from North Iowa. But, one bad period 2 Fridays ago at home, the first period.
Yeah. One bad period on Saturday.
Yeah, outplayed him for the final 40 minutes of that game, then outplayed him the first 40 minutes on Saturday at home and had a horrible third period.
Yep.
A bad minute in that first period on Friday in North Iowa. But then, they put a full 60-minute effort together on Saturday, and we see the result, a 6-1 win.
Exactly, and I think, some of it has to do also the fact that there are only 6 20-year-olds.
Yeah, it's a young group.
It's a very young group, and we've talked about it before. Like, players have to learn to win at each level that they play at. And there's a lot of guys getting their first junior experience here, and they're playing well. They really are. The Toros, regardless of what the record says, the Toros have been playing really well here against some pretty good teams.
Even if you look at some of the quote veteran players, some of the returning guys who are second-year Toros, Ike and Stacks are both 03s.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cole and Bubba are 02s, and then Cole, who's wearing the C, obviously played a pretty big role last year. But Ike and Stacks were in and out of the lineup. Bubba was in and out of the lineup. He was hurt a couple times. So even the guys who are veteran guys are not guys who had big roles, and they're having to learn to play those bigger roles now, where they're in the lineup every night.
Exactly. But schedule doesn't get any easier.
No.
Austin Bruins come to town. The first placed Austin Bruins come to town. A lot of stuff going on Saturday night.
Yes.
Saturday,
not to overlook Friday's game, but Saturday is a lot of extra stuff on top of a hockey game.
Yeah. Friday night at 5 o'clock is the Minotaurs Booster Club Trunk or Treat. Always a fun time to see all the costumes come walking around, and then into the
even
stadium.
last year with COVID, I think they had 600 or 700 people come through. They said, and the year before that, it was 1,100 people, 600 kids in costume 2 years ago, pre-COVID. So,
Yep.
The first 250 kids in costume get a free ticket to the game.
That ticket can be used that night also.
Yeah.
Or for any future home
Yep.
Toros
So
game.
if you want to make sure you have your tickets for Saturday night's game, you can jump online, buy those tickets, still bring your kid in costume, and get the free ticket for a future game as well. So that'll be an awesome event as always. A big thank you to the Booster Club and Jamie Hyatt who put that together.
Absolutely. He's already tuning in too, so big shout out to Jamie Hyatt.
That is a huge event every year and one I look forward to. We'll try and get the camera out there again and get some video and have a good time with that. And then once people are inside the building, the Sports Shack will be giving away those right there in front of us.
Yes.
I don't know if people could see those. Which camera are we on? That one, maybe? Yeah, there we go.
We're on that one.
So some player cards. That's going to fall over maybe. I don't know. Anyways.
We have Mikkel, Charchenko.
If you can't tell, we don't rehearse this.
Braden Panzer, no, we don't. We wing a lot of stuff. Braden Panzer, Ike Keller, and Trevor Stahoyak.
Yep.
Those are the 5 players for this strip. We'll have 5 different players for the next giveaway next month. This will be happening once a month.
The same night as Skate with the Toros every month, which is finally back.
Yeah. So you can take the cards and go down and meet the players on the cards, or you can go to the Sports Shack next Tuesday, and there will be a meet and greet with the players at the Sports Shack. The address is on the cards. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on at the rink this week. And
Skate with the Toros is back. We kind of glossed up, but yes, Skate with the Toros is back. So Saturday post game, for half an hour after the game, fans can come out, jump on the ice, and the boys will be out after hopefully 2 points against Austin, and
hopefully after 4 points.
Yeah, and buzz around. So it'll be a good time. Get those cards signed. Bring other stuff. I just saw a shipping label about an hour ago. We should have replica jerseys on sale in the merchandise store. So jump on, come to the rink, buy yourself a replica jersey. These new jerseys are pretty sweet. Bring it down to the ice and have the whole team sign it during Skate with the Toros. So
you can get your jersey signed by our first guest. So fans, let's go ahead and welcome in our first guest. It is the star of the week from September 27th to October 3rd. Mr. Houston Cartman. Carpy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And we'll start there. You are currently on a 6-game point streak. In that 6 games, you have 11 points total, 7 goals, 4 assists. What's been one of the key things for you to get hot here recently?
I just honestly think that I've been pretty fortunate enough to play with some really good players, and my line's been clicking lately. Kind of ever since we got put together, we've been hot, and I just think we all mesh well together, and obviously you get the bounces here and there, but it's been fun, that's for sure.
Jen Wagner jumping in real quick on the Facebook chat with the address for the Sports Shack, so I really appreciate that, as always, Miss Jen Wagner.
That line has been clicking. You're out there with Nesberg, who had, I think, 3 goals 2 weekends ago. Jackson Panzer I think he's got 3 on the season and is 10 or 11 assists on the year already. So, it's been a really good line offensively. And I don't want to say bad defensively, but you guys haven't had to play much defense. You're pretty much almost playing at the other end of the ice.
Yeah.
What has been the key for that line?
Well, I think all 3 of us skate really well. The other 2 definitely a little better than me, but we get up and down, and I think all 4 of us actually play with a little bit of bite in our game. Like, we get in on pucks, we're hard on pucks, and like you said, we haven't been having to play much defense. We've been breaking out quick and really good on the forecheck, and if you watch our goals, most of them come from us forcing a turnover or us getting up the ice in a hurry on a line rush. I mean, we do have some IZO goals, but a lot of it's just like us being hungry on pucks, and all 3 of us are skilled players who can finish. So, yeah.
11 points over the 6 games, and you didn't get to play all 6 of those games. You had to sit out for 15 minutes on Saturday night after the fight. I'm still not a fan of the 15-minute penalty for fighting. I wish it was still 5, but that was one that you could kind of see coming. They took a run at Dean Schwenninger the shift before. you came out over the boards. I saw you were talking to guys pretty much right away. What went into that getting started?
I just think it was about time. One, we haven't had one this year, and two, just I mean, when you play the same team 4 times in a row, like there's going to be some bad blood, and I think that just was kind of a tipping point. Like we had a little bit of a scrum at the end of Friday night's game. Stuff got pretty heated, and then just like I thought that they were starting to play a little dirty because they were down a little bit and obviously didn't like it. So, you know, I just thought, hey, this is a time to stick up for my teammates and do something I like to do. So
to that point, how much does bulletin board material play into a rivalry as well? It's not just the 4 games in a row, but I think I had 4 or 5 guys mention to me their first start of the game interview on Friday night, and how guys kind of heard them saying that Minot was used to losing to them and stuff like that. I mean, how much does that stuff actually carry over?
I mean, it definitely does. You don't like to be disrespected, especially, you know, for everyone to hear. But I think more for us, it's just like was our pride. Like we're not going to lose 4 straight to anybody. And I just felt like we had been so close so many times, and all the games had been so emotional, and it's just like we've probably got the better of them, like you were saying earlier. I think we might have outplayed them pretty much every single game, just these stretches that they're capitalizing on. And I mean, I'll give them a little compliment. They're a veteran team. I mean,
you know a lot of those guys. You played with them in Amarillo last year.
Right. So all these guys have experience. A lot of them are really good players. And so when we take our foot off the gas, that's what happens. And I thought that was evident. And so for us, it was just I mean, a tipping point. We were fed up, and then especially hearing that stuff, it definitely fuels the fire.
Do you think because you did play with any of them or some of them in Amarillo that kind of added a little extra to it because you wanted to prove to them that just because you were teammates doesn't mean you won't take it out on them? I
mean, a little bit. I think if you know me, you know that that's how I am. Like, I mean, you can ask the guys I practice against every day. Like, I'm a competitor, and I think those guys wouldn't expect any special treatment from me.
You've been around a little bit. Fans may remember you were in Aberdeen a couple of years ago. We mentioned Amarillo. Played in Fargo in the USHL a little bit last year as well. You've been in Minot now a couple of months since training camp started. What's your overall impressions on Minot, and has maybe that changed since coming here as an opponent now versus being a Toro?
Well, I always liked playing in Minot. Like, I love the rink. I think we have great fans, and like it was always like my actual favorite place to play in this division. So to come back and get to play here full time was pretty cool. Like, I was excited for that opportunity, and being here, I think it's even outdone some of my expectations. Like, we have the best facilities in the league, in my opinion. I think we have an unbelievable coaching staff and a great group of guys. So I don't have enough good things to say about this place.
Standing on the blue line for warm-ups and seeing the lights and the cowbells and the horns and all that, as a visiting player, what was that experience like, seeing all of that, and then having the Minot faithful essentially cheer against you the entire time?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of fun. I mean, I know anybody who plays sports at a high level likes playing in those type of environments on the road. Like, it's cool, like it's better when they're rooting for you, but also just like people passionate about the game you're playing. I mean, it's a compliment to both teams, I think. So I always liked it.
We talked a little bit about this before the show, but how much are you looking forward to playing Aberdeen and maybe going down to the OD now as a visitor? And that's another one of the better atmospheres in this league, I think.
Oh, 100%. 100%. That place bombs as well, but I can't. I mean, I can't put into words how excited I am. Like, it's gonna be awesome going back there, and I mean, they lost a lot of guys last year, so most of the guys that I played with aren't there anymore. But I mean, a few are, and I definitely like to take a few points from those guys. So,
you mentioned the coaching staff and all that. Being a 20-year-old and having gone through the coaching change as quickly of a turnaround as it was at the beginning of the year, how how important was it for you, being that veteran in the locker room, to have that positive mentality of this change is good, we can move forward from this?
Well, I think one thing that I've learned just playing juniors for so long is just like kind of expect the unexpected. Like, you just kind of have to take everything with a grain of salt and continue to move along, because there's so many things that are out of your control. And I mean, I think I harped on that a little bit to some of the newer guys, like, hey, like, this isn't the end of the world. Like, whoever they're bringing in is going to be good. And, let's just roll with the punches here. And definitely, I mean, it was tough going in the showcase with a coach who only ran 1 or 2 practices beforehand. Like, I think, we weren't probably as structured as we would have liked to be, but I mean, how could we, like with that? So, but I mean, I also have to say, like, Cody's done an absolutely amazing job since he's came here. Like, I mean, just the culture he's instilled and the way he is with the players. I mean, like, he's as good as there is, like, best in the business. So it's been an honor to have him and play for him.
Yeah, you also have a bit of a leadership role, obviously not a coach, but you're one of the 4 guys who has a letter on their jersey. What did that mean to you to be picked as part of that leadership group?
I mean, I was obviously excited. I mean, I don't take it lightly. It was something that I was hoping would happen and really wanted that. I think, like I said, I've been around and I've seen a lot of stuff and know what it's like to be on a good team and play for a good team and what a winning culture looks like. So I knew I could add that and bring that element to the table. And, it's just an honor to lead these guys every night.
Carpy, we'll finish with one last thing. Obviously, we mentioned trunk or treat, so gotta ask, what is your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever seen or you've ever worn yourself?
That's a tough one. I'd say one year back in the day, the only one that really comes to mind was I was Snooki for Halloween one year from the Jersey Shore. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny.
What was your favorite candy that you would get when you would trick or treat?
Definitely Milk Duds.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Milk Duds for
Interesting.
sure.
I was not expecting that, honestly.
That's a Brad Porter answer.
That is a Brad Porter answer. You'll enjoy hearing that answer.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
Houston, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Best of luck this weekend.
Appreciate it.
Fans at Houston Cartman. Now we will take it out to the Apex Virtual Learning Coaches Corner.
Give me a second.
Maybe.
Welcome to another edition of the Apex Learning Coaches Corner. This week I'm here with Toro's assistant coach, Jake Howie, and Howie's going to break down how to defend a 2-on-1. Jake, take it away.
Well, for a 2-on-1, most of the time, your biggest thing is you need to be communicating with your goaltender as a defenseman. Every goaltender is a little bit different in what they want you to do. Majority of them are going to want you to make sure you take away the pass coming across, and they'll take the shooter. But every instance is different on the rush. First of all, you're going to coming down with the puck. Defenseman needs to make sure he's got a good gap on him. If you're not anywhere near the passing lane, they're just going to be able to play tic-tac-toe back and forth on you. So you want to have a good active stick, making sure it's out in front into the passing lane. And you want to gap up and back out with speed and matching what they're coming in on their speed. Like I said, you want to be talking with your goaltender. He's going to be calling out what he wants you to do. As you get tighter and tighter in towards the crease, though, you're going to have to make a decision. Like I said, most times he's going to make sure he wants you to make sure this pass can never get through the slot over for the back door and the one-timer. But as we come in tighter and you've eliminated this option across, you can usually eliminate this guy too, or cut down his angle on where he's going to get a shot on net from.
What are some of the things that the goalie might be telling you? You just finished your professional career. What were some things that goalies would tell you if you were defending here?
In most instances, it's as simple as I've got shooters, what he's yelling at you, and that lets you know that he wants you to make sure you're pushing him kind of outside, but making sure that this pass can't get across and over onto the guy on the backside. The toughest save for him in this instance is going to have to be him faking the shot and sliding across and him having to go post to post to try to make an athletic save. He wants to be able to square up to the shooter and just take it in front of him, and that's where you come in to eliminate the guy on the backside.
Once again, fans, that is the Apex Online Learning Coaches Corner. Also, we had a fan, Miss Jody Mickle, who Meckley, sorry, reached out on the comments and said, "Nice hat, Ken." So fans have quickly noticed that you are no longer.
I've retired the Blackhawks hat.
You are no longer wearing that ugly, worn out, old Blackhawks hat.
That hat was almost junior eligible. I bought it in 2007.
Nice.
So
I was in 5th grade.
Yeah, it was. I bought it at my first game as a Blackhawks season ticket holder. So all the way back in 2007. So it's been around a bit.
Yeah,
so
it has.
It was time to maybe replace it.
It was. And
14 years later.
Yeah. Thing can almost drive itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was almost junior eligible. It could almost play for the Toros.
Oh, gosh. Fans, if you like that hat's still available at the merchandise stand. So make sure you head over there on Friday or Saturday. Fans, also, now let's welcome in our second guest of the show, Mr. Zach Sandy. Zach, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
First and foremost, congratulations on your first junior win on Saturday. That had to have felt good.
Yeah, it feels great. You know, obviously, as a rookie goalie in juniors, you want to get your first win out of the way as quick as you can. And for me, you know, it took a few games, but I thought I've been playing well in all the games I've played, and just to keep continuing to work hard and never get satisfied and to stay hungry. But it feels really good, and I'm excited for the future here.
I talked about it on the air. It felt like you were tough luck kind of guy, taking some tough losses that I thought you played well in, and maybe your numbers would indicate that you deserved better. How frustrating is that for you, going back to the locker room after a game where you've maybe stopped, 29 of 31 or whatever and had a pretty good night, but the team still lost?
Yeah, it's a little frustrating, but, at the end of the day, junior hockey is a business, and you want to win games. So you just got to keep telling yourself, keep going. Eventually, it'll go your way. And if you just keep playing well, good things will happen. And last Saturday, we got that win. So
one of the things that's got to be good for you is having both head coach Cody Campbell, who has played Division I as a goalie, and also assistant coach Wyatt Waslenchuk, back once again as the goalie coach. It's got to be good for you, and it's got to help you a lot having two guys that have a strong goalie background. Yeah,
obviously, first with Coach Campbell. He was a goalie, like you said. So, not only the physical side, but the mental side is huge to just help, just to sit and talk with him, because, he'll understand if it's a bad goal or, because he's been a goalie. He knows what goalies are thinking. So just to have him off the ice as well has just been huge. And he sees, only what I think goalies would see. And he's helped a ton. Just to stay positive, keep working hard. And I sat down with him last week and just had a really good conversation with him. It was just always really good to hear, what he was thinking, and it just helps a lot, especially him having that goalie experience. And then Wyatt Waslenchuk, unbelievable guy. He comes to the rink every single day, great attitude. You could be having a rough day, and he kind of honestly makes my day sometimes. He's always joking around, and at the end of the day, that's kind of what life's about. You want to enjoy the junior hockey experience and stuff, but just to have a guy that can make your day, and if you turn your frown from upside down. He's awesome.
Was good at that.
Yeah.
Now, you being a goalie here, obviously our program has a long history of goalies. Last year, Keenan Ranciere was an absolute rock star for us, and we did that video late in the season on his pregame routine. What is your pregame routine like?
Yeah, I actually saw that video. I think so. My pregame routine isn't quite as locked in as that, obviously. But on Fridays we'll have a pregame skate. So I like to have a good pregame skate, and then I'll go home, Take a nap for sure. Got to take a good nap. And then I'll always have rice and chicken. You know, I'm living with Braden Panzer, so we like to have our rice and chicken before, and then at about like 4 o'clock, and then we'll get our suits on and get to the rink around 5:15. And yeah, I've said it before. I wear for warm-ups. I wear these same shorts I wear all the time, and I call them lucky shorts, but who knows? But so I just kind of get locked in. I get my music rolling and do my same stretches, and I think a great routine helps me to stay locked in each and every night, because as a goalie, you need to be consistent every single night.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Before the game, definitely some rap and like good pop music, just to get me going. But outside of the rink, I like to chill around with some country and stuff. So
you're a Fargo boy, one of the many North Dakota guys we've had come through town. What is the Toros' reputation? Maybe obviously the Minot guys know it well, but when you're a guy who comes to Minot and plays, whether it's high school or youth hockey, how much do kids growing up in Fargo know about the Toros?
Yeah, I'd say at least 75-80% of kids around Fargo area know about it. I was lucky enough, my high school team, we actually played a state tournament game here last year in Minot. We ended up winning that game 3-0, which was good. But I love that. But no, yeah, to see that rink, and it's unbelievable to finally get to play in it. And you hear about that stuff because as a hockey player, you want to eventually get to juniors, so you watch kind of the games on hockey TV, and you see, the rink, and you hear good stuff about it, and you see all like Kyle Kukkonen getting drafted, and it just gives hope for guys to keep grinding. Good things can actually come here, and from a great organization like the Toros.
What was it like? Because as you mentioned, you played high school last year, coming to Minot and opening night, or the home opener, you hear your name announced, you skate through the light bar, and just feeling that atmosphere of being, hey, I'm a junior player now. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, it was great for me. Anyone that knows me, I love fans, I love crowds, I love playing in big games, and to see that crowd opening night was an eye-opener for sure. And it was super, super loud, with all the cowbells they got and all the air horns. It was just an unbelievable atmosphere, and as a player, it just gets you fired up and ready to roll. So it was awesome. One
of the main things that I know, being a pitcher, and goalies and pitchers are kind of the same, is you don't like talking to people when you're not playing. Are you one of those people where you kind of just go back into the locker room during intermission and kind of just sit there? Or do you actually talk to like the defensemen and the coaches and all that to kind of see what adjustments that you need to make?
Yeah, obviously, I'm a huge competitor, so in between intermissions, I'll talk to the D and other players at what I think we can work on going into this next period. But I really like to lock in and just really, really stay focused on the game, because it's a 60-minute game. It's a long game. It's a long mental grind, and as a goalie, you really got to stay locked in, and you can't be goofing off much at all. So, yeah. You mentioned staying locked in. Some goalies, they want to see a ton of shots. It helps them. Other guys say, hey, if my defense is playing well in front of me and I only see 15 pucks, that's great. Do you have a preference? Do you want to see 40 shots a night? You want to see 15 shots a night, or somewhere in between? Yeah, I like to see a lot of shots. I'm used to coming playing high school. We'd give up a decent amount of shots a game, so I'm used to seeing 35, 40 shots each game, and I actually like that a lot. I figure if you only get 12 to 15 shots, you're not going to get a whole lot better than seeing 35 to 40. So that's kind of how I look at it. And, you just got to compete and try to control what you can control. So, yeah, I like to see a lot of shots. This year the Toros haven't scored the first goal much. I think that was a huge difference on Saturday night as well. As a goalie, knowing scoring is not your responsibility, but how much pressure does it take off you when we score 30 seconds into a game like Stacks did on Saturday night? Yeah, it's huge. Like Saturday night we scored 3 goals in the first 4 minutes or so. So, it really does relieve a little pressure off you, just knowing you kind of got that cushion. But it's still the same game you've been playing your whole life. You still got to be ready to go, but it definitely does relieve a big load off your shoulders. And, yeah, so. Last time the Toros were home against North Iowa, you came into the game on Friday, and the beginning of the second and stopped 18 out of 18. How quickly did you have to change from, all right, I'm
the backup goalie tonight to, hey, I'm going in. How hard of an adjustment was that for you?
Yeah, so especially like here, our backup goalie, we take face-off stats. So I was just sitting there first period, marking shots or face-off wins, and not that I wasn't really locked in, but I wasn't super like laser focused. And then after that first period, he told me I was going in, and then that flip definitely switched, and the competitor in me came out, and I got locked in and I was ready to go. So
we asked Cartman this, and I'll ask you it now. Being once again that trunk or treat is on Saturday, what is your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever worn or you've ever seen?
I'm just gonna go with the original. I like seeing some Batman costumes. I'd probably say that was pretty cool, I guess.
What was your favorite candy that you would get when you would trick or treat?
I'm gonna say this one for my billet mom, Jen Wagner. She'd appreciate this. I like this candy too. Definitely Reese's, but like the shape. So there's more peanut butter in them,
Gotcha.
So
we're
the pumpkins with the hearts. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I feel like those are your favorites too.
Maybe.
Sandy, we appreciate you coming on the show, and best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Fans, that is once again Mr. Zach Sandy, and if you hadn't picked up, trunk or treats on Saturday.
Yes, it is. So you've been asking everyone else, what was your favorite Halloween costume?
Honestly, my favorite, and I was actually thinking about this in the office today because I knew you were going to ask it. I was Indiana Jones one trick or treat, and it was fantastic. But my absolute favorite, and I don't have any memory of it because I was so young, but it was such a good costume that we actually had some photos taken. But one year I was a Revolutionary War soldier, and my mom had sewn on buttons, and it actually looked like I had a blue American Revolutionary War coat. It was legit. So, what was yours? Being in Chicago, I know I know you went door to door in your.
I was a big trick or treater. Obviously, I'm a huge candy guy. My favorite candy is whatever I can reach. So
that's a fact. Actually, there's a fact.
I think the classic. I think I was Batman in kindergarten. That was a good one. But I think my all-time favorite was a medieval knight. Not because the costume was great, but I got to have a toy sword that I got to hit people with all day. So that was
sister.
Yeah. Well, no, my sister wasn't even born yet at that point. We're 10 years apart. So
and she's 2 years older than me.
Yeah, but I got to bring a toy sword to school and just beat the heck out of kids. Because you could do that back then. There were no rules in schools. Now that wouldn't fly.
No,
but
not at all.
I'm old, so it's okay.
Absolutely. Favorite candy?
Like I said, whatever I can reach. If it's candy and it's within arm's length, it's my favorite for the moment.
Exactly. My favorite, my dad would love this, Dots.
Dots are solid.
I'm a big Dots fan.
Yeah. That's my go-to in movie theaters.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'll do it for this episode of Torres All Access. Enough of our babbling back and forth. That's Ken Oda for Sean Bachhoven behind the scenes once again doing a great job. I'm Peter Thetis. We'll see you in 2 weeks.